What do you think is one of the first ways or approaches that people can take when they're struggling?
Yeah, well, right now, over 470,000 households are behind on their debt repayments.
Whoa!
That's a lot.
Wait, say that again. How many?
470,000 households. So that data came out last month. That is a lot of people.
Wow.
Like, what's that as a percentage? Because it would be quite high, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure how many households there are in our country, but if we think about how that translates through to people, how many people are in a household and therefore impacted by that, we're nudging about a third of the nation in that are experiencing this. So, yeah, to your point, Kat, you are not alone. If you're one of those people this morning who is going, man, yeah, I'm behind on that or I'm overdue on those payments, you are not alone. And so I guess today we want to make sure that if you are in that situation that you've got what you need to engage with your creditors and where you're in arrears really well.
Because I think something that I've loved learning from working with Cap is how negotiable these things really are. I always used to think it's like you call them up cap in hand like a scene out of Oliver and they're like, no, get in the coal mines. And that's kind of the only option available to you.
That's right. And in our country, there are actually responsibilities on lenders to treat you appropriately and to treat you fair. And so the trigger term, and this is the one to remember for today, is financial hardship. And so that is the starting point. So if you find yourself in that situation, you want to make sure that you reach out to your creditors, your people that you're in arrears with, and you want to let them know that you are in financial hardship and experiencing financial hardship.
Does it work with the IRD as well?
It can work with the IRD, yeah. And so they have dedicated teams, whether it's banks, IRD or that, to start working with you and start exploring ways to create a solution there.
All right. So you have to use that buzzword specifically, though. Do we have to say, hello, I'm in financial hardship, or...
Yeah. That's
as easy as that?
That's the top tip for today. I'm not going to say it's as easy as that. That's the beginning
of it.
That's
the beginning.
Well, that's challenging, right?
That
because you have to admit that you're actually struggling. And I think for a lot of people, like that is the big block, right? Like to getting help. The block to getting help and getting out of the situation is admitting that you need help.
It's huge. It's huge. That the clients that we work with time and time again will talk about that sense of whakama, that shame that you experience, and you go, oh, I'm not alone. And I guess that's why with that data coming out, to know 470,000 households are experiencing it, rest assured you are not alone. And the fact that the providers have dedicated teams to work with you, you are not a one-off when you do that. It is a hurdle and a barrier to get over and work through, but you are not alone.
And there is no shame in getting help. That's
Absolutely.
wisdom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it's also helpful to know that these people who we might owe money to actually have a vested interest in us paying them back anyway, right? So in some ways, they're often happy to hear from us, at least to know that they are going to get some of their money back.
Absolutely. One of the first things that you can do is start communicating and start communicating early. You put yourself in their shoes. Someone starts dodging your calls. Someone starts avoiding you. You don't look kindly to that. You start to get frustrated. So the first thing when you go to negotiate, and yes, we're using that term financial hardship, is to act quickly. If you notice it, pick up the phone, communicate with them, act politely, let them know your situation and let them know that you want to explore a solution, and they will engage with you.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and go, what do you do if you're not getting a positive response and they're not really listening to you when you're telling them that you're suffering from financial hardship? Yeah,
so you can escalate. So we would say that to communicate is the first priority there. Act quickly in that. The second thing is you want to prepare well. What are you actually asking for? So sometimes you might have someone who they on their end don't really know what to do for you. If you've got a temporary situation, are you after a temporary relief? Are you between jobs? Do you want to put an 8-week plan in place? Or are you after something a bit more long-term? Maybe you've had an injury or something's impacted your ability to earn income. And so you want to turn around and actually say, hey, can I adjust the terms of my loan or my repayment amounts and put a longer-term solution in place? So what we want to do is we want to prepare well and give them the opportunity to deliver a result for us, right?
Right.
So we have to take a little bit of that responsibility and go, hey, how can you as a creditor deliver a result here? But if you're not getting traction and if you're not getting a way forward in that, you can complain. You do have rights as a borrower, and so you can let them know that you are not happy and that you think you're being treated unfairly, and inquire to make a complaint.
What if you're just struggling to pay your power bill, for example?
Yeah, good morning. Great to be with you guys. In New Zealand, our power companies and our other utility providers are obligated by the Electricity Authority to provide support. So again, the message today is to get in touch with them early, reach out and start that conversation saying, I'm in financial hardship. How can we put a plan in place here?
So otherwise, there's an obligation for what, like power companies, phone companies, who else to make sure that you can access these services?
Well, banks and all lenders. All lenders are governed by responsible lending codes and practices to ensure that they are affording you your rights and that they are acting responsibly. So if you are in hardship, that is with them. And as we talked about earlier, if you've lent someone money, man, you want to get that back. So you're going to be willing to create a process and a plan in order to recover the money that you're owed.
Okay, well, let's talk about practical steps. So let's say you've done that, you've had a chat with them. How do you go about negotiating with your lender and provider going forward?
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you have that you know what your situation is. So whether that's a budget or a money plan, whatever term you want to use on that, to put in place your needs for your whānau. So prioritising those needs first. We've talked before on the show about needs and wants. Needs. We're talking about those essential needs that you need for your whānau and your kids and your costs. Once you've got that, you are left with a bit of an understanding of what have you got to work with there, if anything. And from there, when you're reaching out, you're saying financial hardship, we want to prepare well and know what is that plan and what are we looking for in that. How much do we need to see those repayments reduce? And so there's a great free tool at sorted.co.nz that you can go to and put your information into, and it will just give you a bit of a guide there on what your position is.
And I can imagine like people are going to need all the tips and tricks they can get, because even just having been out of the country for 5 weeks, coming back, I've seen that grocery prices have gone up again.
Yeah.
And so like it's quite hard to kind of cut essential things when everything is just, kind of extrapolating up.
It's so hard to keep up with it. Unemployment's up, rising cost of living on everything. And so if you are finding yourself, we talked about that 470,000 households are behind on debt repayments. So you are not alone, and reaching out and getting on the front foot of that as early as you can. Your creditors will be favourable towards that.
And look, for all this great advice, I know there's going to be some people who are listening today and are saying like, this is all cool, but it's still maybe a little bit over my head and I need a little more help.
Yeah.
Sam, I think we know some people who might be able to help.
capnz.org, if you visit that and check out the Get Help page there, or you can call 0508 227 111 and the team would love to hear from you.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us as part of the Rhema whānau. We really appreciate your company, and if you'd like to check out more stories like that one, just click here.
In fact, our channel has a whole bunch just like this, stories that can encourage you and inspire you and make you more aware of what other people's lives are like in Aotearoa and around the world. So maybe you could subscribe right here.